Hello, Jen here, and I am working on my December daily album today using primarily Wild Whisper Canadian Winter Collection. So I wanted to give you a quick glimpse at what is all in the collection before I start putting it together. So there are, let's start with some of the little embellishments. There's this gorgeous sequins pack. This will be gone by the end of December because it's been so hard to resist not using it. I love that pop of like dark crimson, almost burgundy red in there, so I can't wait. The stamp set, which is super adorable. Can't wait to start using that. Then there is the flare. Also super cute. I love this one. Then there is the ephemera pack. Look at how much you get in that pack. Like, it's full. It is absolutely chock full of stuff. And then here are the cards from the card pack. This is the single pack, but you can definitely get the double pack, which I highly recommend because I bet you're gonna end up going through this going, ooh, I want both of those. So we have hot chocolate weather. It's been hot chocolate weather here for months. And then there is this, we've had like 4 snow days already with the school, with buses not being able to get through in the rural areas. We've had so much snow and it's not even technically winter yet. So that will get used up for sure. Here is just all the repeating words. I love the little bit of mixed media kind of splatter on it. Hello Winter. Some mittens. And that beautiful mountain view. There's that super cute deer wearing his ski goggles, and then the mountains are in the goggles. And warm winter wishes. Here are some of the different icons that they have used, so they're kind of repeating throughout the whole collection. And then hockey hair, don't care on the back. And then on the back of the branding card is a bunch of little cut parts that you can use. So perfect. Those are the 4x6s. Then the 4x3s, again, snow day. I'm sorry for the things I said when it was winter. Yep, that's true in Canada. We have a fire in our hearts and ice in our veins. Very true of many Canadians. Canadian winter. There is that deer again wearing his scarf. Smart deer. Here's another cup of hot cocoa and the maple leaf. This is a maple leaf that you've seen kind of carried through a lot of their Canadian collections. So I love that because it ties all of their collections together. And then there are some of those iconic Canadian symbols, the Inukshuk, polar bear, moose, that kind of stuff. So perfect. There is the cup of hot cocoa with A. And there is that mountain scene again. Here are some mittens. And it's a great day for hockey. True story. It's always a great day for hockey. Frosty mornings and toasty mugs. Don't mess with a hockey mom. Also true story. Kindness is like snow. It beautifies everything it covers. And then this is just a branch, kind of a frosty branch. There are some hockey sticks and a toboggan, a skate, and there's that cute deer again. Hello Winter, some snowshoes. My life is going downhill. That's kind of funny. And Rocky Mountain Snowboard Club. So those are the 4x3 cards. And then this is the paper. So again, you get that bonus design on the back here. So it's that beautiful deep blue. It's not quite a navy. I'd say this branding strip is a navy, and this is more inky. It's very nice. So there's that. You have the cut apart sheet, again with all those beautiful deep blues and then the pops of red and purple. Love that. Your snowshoes, toque, mitten, scarf, essential in Canadian winter. And there's all of those little icons. You could cut them out. You can leave this as a whole piece of paper. Here's those repeating words. So it says Canadian winter, home is at the rink, snow day, warm winter wishes. And then on the other side is the hockey skates in a black and white, which I love. Here's that beautiful little branch from maybe an evergreen tree. And our deer. Hockey sticks, again in that kind of dark. This one's a little bit more gray almost than the other one. And then our mugs of cocoa. And again, I just love, like, this is a different color scheme than your traditional Christmas. So it's kind of fun. It helps you to change things up a little bit. And then here is that wood grain, again, in a very light gray. And I love all the branding strips. They're so beautiful. And there is that scene, and it's got just the watermark of all the different sayings. So that is the Canadian Winter Collection. Okay, so what I plan to do with this is I'm going to take this book cover from an October project that I did where I made pumpkins out of the book pages. I kept the covers because they're nice and sturdy. I really like this plain black. It does have some writing on the edge here, but I'm going to use some different ribbon, I think, to cover it up. Whatever kind of color I think is going to work. And I'm going to make like a junk journal, traveler's notebook style December daily. So I'm just going to make a couple different signatures, lace them all into this binding right here, or did I say that right? Bind them into this cover, and then cover the edge with the different ribbon that I have and leave this black. I think I'm gonna leave it black. I might do, like, you know, a card or something on it, but I just like the black, and I think it's kind of that unexpected Christmassy color that goes with the collection really well. So I'm going to try to mix in some of this, some of my other 6x6 papers and 6x8 papers that I have, some of my leftover bits from last year's Christmas collection, and yeah, follow along and see what I come up with. Okay, so we're going to start by picking all of the papers for my two signatures. I've decided I think I'm going to do two signatures with about 20 pages in each of them, or about 10 pieces of paper. So I've pulled out the last bits from my Christmas comfort collection from last year from Wild Whisper. I just have these little bits left over from my December daily, and I think that they just add those perfect little pops of Christmas that I wanted, because I do absolutely love the Canadian Winter Collection, but it's more wintry than Christmassy, and so since this is December daily, I wanted to have those cute little Christmassy things in there, like this piece of paper with the fa la 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 on one side, and then those cute little cars with Christmas trees on the other side. So I only had the one full piece of paper left from this collection. All the other ones are just bits and pieces that have been cut up. So that created a lot of really fun different sized pages to put into my signatures. And then I also had a few of these leftover pieces of 6x6 paper. You can see I'm scoring them at different places so that depending on how you flip through the book, you're going to get different sizes of pages. But I just thought that they added, again, another kind of Christmassy element, and they still have that kind of dark, bold color scheme that I'm going for. So those worked out really good, and I think some of them were My Mind's Eye, and then there were the Simple Stories 6x8 pieces. I've kind of been hoarding that particular 6x8 paper pad, but I did get a few of them in here. And so my last pages are going to be the Canadian winter pages, because these are nice and full, and I think I cut down 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. And so these full pages end up being, what was the measurement? I think it was, they're 5x8 is what they are. And I basically just used the end pages of the cover to kind of give me a guide for how big I wanted them. So here you can see, now that I've sewn them together, I cut one of the papers to look like a Christmas tree, and I twisted one of the papers so it goes in there like a triangle instead of, or I guess like diamond instead of square. So, you know, I just like to kind of add some fun little elements, nothing too elaborate, but just some fun little different things. There's the vellum in there. Each signature has an envelope as well. And I very, very simply bind those by poking my holes through the center and then sewing it using, I think it's called the saddle stitch binding method. But basically you just go up one way and then come right back down the other way. Very, very simple. I know a lot of people start in the middle, but I don't mind having my little tails down at the end. And you can see here, this triangle paper is falling apart a little bit. I think I scored it too heavily, so it kind of cut through the paper, but I'll go ahead and fix that and do something with it. And so because all of my holes, I haven't measured any of them, so all of my holes are at different spaces. So I'm going to use the signatures themselves to map out where I need to put the holes in my spine. And I do that intentionally because when you have different sizes of paper, sometimes using like a binding tool like you can get from We Are Memory Keepers, or just measuring out the holes, sometimes you actually miss some of the papers, and I really want to make sure that all of the pages have been sewn in there multiple times. So I go ahead and just do it by hand, kind of keeping in mind where all of the papers are. But because the holes aren't perfect, you need to use your signatures as your guide for where to put the holes in your cover. And so again, here with the cover, very, very simple saddle stitch. I'm just using embroidery floss, nothing fancy. If you have a different binding method that you really love to use, or you want to do something that's a little bit more elaborate, maybe you want to keep the outside of your book showing so you can actually see the binding that you've done, go for it. I'm more of the quick and easy and simple, and so far doing this has always worked out well for me, so it's kind of my go-to. There you can see that that paper is split almost all the way up, so I'll figure something out. Nothing a little washi tape can't fix. So I went ahead, you saw me sew in that first one, and now I'll go and sew in the second one, and there we go. It is all done. Now, because my cover is a horror book cover, even though that writing is beautiful and gold, I'm going to go ahead and cover it up because it's definitely not Christmassy. If this was some sort of, you know, old vintage Christmas book or whatever, I probably would have left it, but I knew I was covering it up, so I didn't really care what the binding looked like from the outside. I'm going to go ahead and hot glue some burlap down, and then I'm going to use some of that red ribbon as well. And so I think that this definitely kind of gives it that cozy feeling that you get from the two Wild Whisper collections, and I just really like it. It kind of screams Christmas to me. And that's it. That is my December daily album for this year. I will be sure to check in fairly often so that you guys can see what is going on with this album and how I'm using it. If you have any questions for me though, you can leave them for me down below in the comments. And remember to use discount code DTGen at checkout at the Wild Whisper store so that you can get 10% off of your next purchase. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Happy scrapping! Bye!